I'm not kidding. One of your attacks is calling someone racist.
You hear about this one, a Jew, a Mexican, and a colored guy walking into a bar. The bartender looks up and says, "Get the hell out of here."
And when you do that, then they feel bad about themselves. And that's...
Hey, I know that guy. He's his own half-brother.
Welcome to the Two Gaming Dudes.
Oh, boy. Concord.
Yes.
For PlayStation 5. From PlayStation Studios.
Yeah.
Born on a Thursday, dead on Saturday.
Yeah. It lasted 2 full weeks before they pulled the plug and were like, nope. And I don't mean pulled the plug like they stopped selling it.
Oh,
I mean
no.
pulled the plug like shut the servers down. No one can play this game.
Returning to our roots, the Two Gaming Dudes, this actually started off as a Let's Play channel, and then it got shut down by YouTube. How bad does a game have to suck? Holy cow. This came from PlayStation Studios.
Yes.
This was a AAA title.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't cheap to make.
It was 8 years in development. 8 years. Think about that. 8 years to make this.
But it was another one of those services as a game, or games as a service type things, where, it was going to be like the next Overwatch or the next Destiny. And
that's part of the complaint. It was just another Fortnite clone, or Overwatch, and it looks very much like Overwatch. The thing is, those are free. I can play Fortnite for free. This was $40.
Yeah.
And people complained a little bit, but at the same time, they had done away with the microtransactions and the loot bundles and the pay-to-play stuff. So it was like, okay, I don't have to buy downloadable content. I guess maybe it's... People withheld judgment.
Sure.
When they learned it was going to be $40. But it looks exactly like those games.
Yeah.
And it plays exactly like those fucking games.
There was nothing about this game that stood out. There was nothing that made this so unique that you had to get your hands on it. It was just, oh, look, another one.
I mean, I get it. Battle passes and microtransactions, all that stuff sucks. Sure. Everybody hates that. But you needed something more to make this stand out. And the only way that, they don't give numbers out because they don't want to embarrass themselves.
I have some numbers, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I saw some guy, he's like, the best way we can figure out how successful it was is how many concurrent users were playing the game on Steam.
Yeah, that's the number.
And it's not a Steam game, but there were more people that worked on the game than played it.
Yes.
Its maximum number on Steam was 700.
Yeah.
700 people were playing this game at its max.
Yes. Now you compare that to Wukong, which came out around the same time.
The Chinese button masher.
Yeah, which had at one point 2 million people playing it at the same time.
I'm sure a lot of them are Chinese, but a lot of them are American.
A lot of them are American. It was a great game.
Was it? Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
but
it's a fantastic game.
It's a generic button masher, isn't it?
No, it's definitely more of a Souls-like kind of game. There's definitely a lot of strategy to it. It looks beautiful, and it's got a good story to it. It more or less was the kind of game gamers wanted to play. No one asked for this. We were all already pretty much getting tired of these kinds of games.
Really?
And then somebody was like, let's do another one. And
well, that's the thing. They started it 8 years ago when Fortnite was at its most popular.
if it came out 8 years ago, then sure. But now, no one cares.
So not even deleting the microtransactions or any of that helped. It just fell flat on its face.
Yep. And it's failed so spectacularly that after 2 weeks, they're just like, yeah. Yoink.
From what I can tell, though it's just a copy of Overwatch, the characters are very stupid. And from the first trailers, you could tell something was off.
Yeah.
Because people were complaining about wokeness.
Oh, it's got a fat character.
It's got more than that.
Oh, is it?
There's a lot of diverse body types. None of the characters look like the girl in Stellar Blade.
I got
They all look like the opposite of that.
Yes. So, yeah.
I don't know that would have made a difference, but it started off with negative feelings, and there was no way to go but down at that point. When people were already like,
yeah, we're
bullshit,
like,
I'm not
well, this
doing
looks
this.
stupid.
So you started behind the 8 ball already.
Yeah.
So that's the end. That's
And
the
I'm-
start. That's the
and I'm-
birth and death of Concord. September 2024 to September 2024.
And I'm sorry, but when you have a bunch of gamers going, well, this looks stupid. It's visual entertainment, and if we're already saying it looks stupid, you've lost. The only way you could have saved this is at the end going, you know what, give everyone huge tits with big V-necks, and we'll try to sell it that way. And you probably would have gotten, like, instead of 700, you could have got like 1,200.
Yeah, I guess it would have helped a little bit, but it wouldn't have been enough to make this a success.
No.
That alone isn't going to do it.
It's not alone. You have to have good gameplay.
Just like that alone won't tank a game.
That is very true. Which takes us to the next game that failed. You don't know about this one. It was called Dustborn.
I don't know anything about it, no.
Okay. Fun fact about Dustborn. It cost, I believe their budget was around the 200 million mark. So this is a game that...
You're behind the 8...
My crotch was ringing.
Oh, that was me.
So...
$200 million.
Yeah. So we have a game that doesn't have actual combat. It's a story-based game, and you're supposed to use your words, and you can change the way the story goes by your actions and interactions.
Okay, that sounds neat. We've seen kind of stuff like that before.
Right. So we've seen stuff like this in like Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Okay. So think of it's nothing like that. It's so much worse. I almost have to let me pull up a trailer. Let me show you.
2 hours later.
So it's like
Oh no!
So it's like a cross between a rhythm game and a speaking game. I don't know how to really describe it other than it's god-awful.
So the whole game is just side quests.
Yeah, and when I say that this took DEI to a whole new level, I'm not kidding. One of your attacks is calling someone racist.
You hear about this one, a Jew, a Mexican, and a colored guy walking into a bar. The bartender looks up and says, "Get the hell out of here."
And when you do that, then they feel bad about themselves. And that's how you change the world. This whole thing is about taking a road trip across the U.S. and you're changing the world by pointing out people's racisms and...
It sounds like the worst fucking idea for a game maybe ever. It sounds like a piece of shit elementary school game that little kids get given out for free in 3rd grade to teach them to be nice to each other.
Right.
That costs $100 to make.
Okay, so you know how the game we were just talking about, how Concord, after 700 people are playing it, all right, time to pull the plug. 23. That's about as many people they could get to play this game. It's somewhere between 20 and 70 people.
Now, what I'm
That was
noticing...
it.
What I'm noticing from the beginning is stylistically,
Yeah.
it reminds me very much of a game we played. I don't remember what it was. But you were gay animals. You were humanoid animals, and you were going into a gay bar, and you had to fuck other gay, furry-type
game?
animals that were half human, half animals.
I remember that. That was a fun game. I don't know what that was, though.
It reminds me exactly of that. It was 99 cents on Steam, and a guy made it at his house, obviously.
Yes. And that's exactly what this feels like. This feels like an indie game that one dude made on his own because he was feeling sad and wanted to make a game to make him feel... It feels like a self-therapy game.
But so many pretentious venture capitalists heard about it and said, I want to invest $10 million in this game.
Yes! And now they got all these people to back it up, millions of dollars. And this is what you end up with, is this craptastic game that's boring and dumb and... I mean, we all saw it from a mile away. I can't imagine anybody being surprised that this failed so spectacularly.
It failed so bad, I'd never even heard about it until just now.
That's exactly right.
Catastrophe, man.
There's a lot of people who had no idea this game even existed until they found out about its spectacular fail. And then that got overshadowed by Concord
And it's even more spectacular fail.
Yes. So there's 2 fails in a row.
Excellent. Does 3 complete the trilogy?
I do believe it does.
Oh, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Another time, let's switch gears.
2 hours later.
What I have noticed a little bit here, thanks to the Rad Brad, the gameplay, it looks good. I mean, it looks like, okay.
It bounces back and forth between, this doesn't look too bad, to, this looks like it came out 15 years ago, to, how the hell did this make it past all of these development teams? How did this happen?
It's just that the AI and the gunplay, it's so bad that I think it was intentionally done bad.
Really?
I think the gunfight mechanics are so bad because they wanted it to be Snake Eater, a stealth sneak up game. And
Okay.
that does not fit with Star Wars.
No, it doesn't. And the game itself, when you're playing it, it's not really sure what it wants you to do either, because it's like, you should be stealthy and you only have the 1 pistol. You're like, okay, we could do that kind of game. And then it's like, all right, now defeat all 37 villains. I'm like, well, which, am I a one-man army, or am I supposed to be, like, stealthy?
But that's the thing. If you play it as a one-man army with 1 pistol,
Yeah.
you will kill those 30 guys.
Yes.
Because they'll spin around in circles while you shoot the other guys. They'll look around like this while you're sneaking up behind them. It's so poor that it had to be done intentionally.
You would think, right?
They wanted you to do the stealth style, so they just made...
the AI as dumb as possible.
That's the only explanation.
So the AI is awful. The gun mechanics are not good.
Yeah.
Which, that's like the gameplay.
For God's sake, it's Star Wars.
It's not fun to play.
Let me shoot some stormtroopers.
No. So all of that's off, and
The other major complaint from the beginning was that if you jump on a speeder bike, you can crisscross the entire level in 5 minutes, and there's only a handful of levels. We were sold on this as it's Grand Theft Auto set to Star Wars.
I remember that.
And that's not what you fucking gave us.
No, that is not what this is.
By any stretch. So what the shit?
Ubisoft is really good at hyping up games and then delivering on crap. This is not the first time they've done this. It plays a lot like a lot of their other games.
Yeah.
They were really just kind of hoping that I said the word Star Wars, so you're totally going to buy this game. And surprise, surprise, we didn't. We saw that it was garbage, and unfortunately, this is another one of those games. Well, I say unfortunately, but that's not true. This game did not sell near as well as they had hoped.
No, because it's not what they told us.
Yep. And I gotta say, between this and Dustborn and Concord, I'm secretly glad these games are failing.
You don't have to be secret about it.
All right, I'm not
openly
secret.
glad.
I am glad these games are failing. And it's not because I'm malicious and hate these people, but it's because we deserve better games. I've got better shit to do with my time. My time is limited, and it gets more and more limited the longer I'm on this earth. I have limited time, and I don't need to spend it on crap.
I can't understand. You're sitting in the boardroom. Somebody says, I've got a great idea. This is going to be huge.
Right?
What if we take Grand Theft Auto and set it in the Star Wars universe? All the fan reaction was enormous. Yes, we'd love that. Go to Rockstar and say, how much to lease your game engine? And then just have some artists change the skins to Star Wars shit.
Right. Because when I say, oh, it's like $5 million. Okay. Well, we're Star Wars. And we can afford it.
If that's what it truly was, and they came out and said, yeah, it's Star Wars as GTA. You're an outlaw, Grand Theft Auto, but it's set to Star Wars. There's only 5 planets. Because in Vice City, there's only 5. We'd say, whatever. GTA is awesome, and I love Star Wars. This is going to be great. 5 planets to explore. You didn't give us any of that.
No.
You started from scratch and came up with something that was not what you promised us. I'm not going to buy it. I don't care how cool it looks. I don't care how much it exploits the PS5's resources. It's not what you told me.
Right. And
I'm not falling for your bait and switch.
And I guess even if you hadn't promised us that, had just promised us that it was going to be this really cool stealth / smuggler kind of story, you didn't even deliver really on that. What you did deliver us is a really buggy, janky game that barely works half the time. It looks okay. You got some scenes that are pretty, but most of it is not good. And
I mean, you have to use this little dog thing so frequently. It's just stupid.
And on top of all of that, this game was like $140.
If you wanted everything, yeah. Not getting it from me.
And you're not getting it from me. I'll wait till it goes on sale for $19.99 and then I'll think about it. If it shows up on Xbox Game Pass, then I'll grab it.
I'll just play GTA 5 or Far Cry. I'll just play Far Cry. You could have done that.
Or I'll play Star Wars Survivors if I really want my Star Wars fix, because that was a great game.
Okay. There.
This, not so much.
We don't know what they spent on this, but it must have been astronomical.
It had to have been astronomical. I mean, between the licensing fees and the development costs, and I mean, this had to be stupid expensive. If freaking Dustborn was like $200 million to make, and it looked like an indie project that I would have found on Itchy.
I mean, all these games have the budgets of major summer blockbuster films.
Yeah.
You can't do that. There's not enough. It's a gamble. If 1 out of 10 of those games hits big, the other 9 are failures. You can't spend money like that.
Oh, I didn't tell you about the best part about Concord. They had to issue a refund.
Oh, yeah. To the 50 people that bought it.
No, it's so much worse than that. Because that's what I thought. I was like, okay, 50 people bought it, you're going to issue refunds to 50 people. No. They have to issue refunds to Walmart and Target.
Oh, no.
And these are people that bought
crates
millions.
of the shit.
Yes. So this is right up there with, like, the E.T. problem. Remember E.T. for the Atari?
They dumped him in the dumpster?
Yes. It's that problem. That's where Dustborn didn't have the problem, because it was never available as a physical media. So when it failed, it was like, well, that sucks, but at least I don't have to refund millions of dollars.
I'm not sure what the number. It's worse than E.T. Because if I recall correctly, E.T. still sold like 1.4 million copies.
It did, but they made so many of the stupid
But they
cartridges.
made millions of them, yeah.
Yes.
And it didn't cost 200 mil to produce.
No,
it cost like
not.
$100,000 to produce.
Yeah.
So this is worse.
Yeah, this is worse.
Oh, look, a video game inside of the video game.
I'm sure
that's cool.
This was worth $140.
If it's not Kratos, just then I'm just not interested in your in-game. Anyway,
we'd love to hear from you.
That's the state of the video game industry, man.
Right? We'd love to hear from you. 1, what games are you playing right now? Because we need something fun to play. And 2, have you tried any of these new games? Were you excited for any of them? Or were they just all garbage? Is this the first time you've ever heard of Dustborn? Because I'd never even heard of it until today. So
I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm intrigued now. I really want to investigate more. Just how bad could it be?
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Excellent.
You gotta see some of the gameplay. It's the deeper I dug into what this garbage game was,
it gets.
It's so bad. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's so, I mean, don't buy it. Save yourself the $40 or whatever it is. But, whoo boy. All right.
Aces.
We'll catch you in another
Glad
video.
we
Well, you
got
know
this
what
out
to
of our
do,
system.
right? You know what to do.
What?
Like, share, subscribe.
Yes. Of course.
We'll see you in another video.
I know.
Bye.